So we have returned once again for the third installment of our one-shot, and we're trying not to take the multiple installments personally. It's not our fault. Now, in the last episode, the carefully collected and collated and organized and jarred and shelved treasure was scattered everywhere in the icy darkness of the Frost King's tomb by the conflagration of violence which erupted between our heroes and their villainous rivals. We had the on-again, off-again romance between Amber and Chase Bannon. Where was it that you two were last entangled?
What was that? Vicky? I think Vicky remembers more.
Ulco, I think it was.
Acapulco, yeah.
Acapulco.
I think she. That's right. It was Acapulco. Yeah,
She's
Why
still
was
mad
Vicky
about
there?
that.
Might still be mad about that.
Vicky's heard about it. She's
Oh, okay.
not there.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay. Need to clarify that.
Yeah.
Probably still mad about that.
It was her shoulder that he cried on after Amber got upset,
Yeah,
perhaps.
Right. By upset.
not the first time
stole your
she
stuff.
shot at me. No, this time. Well, it's a long story.
This time, that time. You know. Vincenzo McTavish, the explosives expert who got on the wrong end of the wrong baseball game. Samson, who's been suddenly abandoned by his fellow villainous rivals and is now left to enjoy your attentions all alone. And Gunner Gunboat Erickson, who has, like his namesake, taken a water route to his glorious reward.
It's capsized.
Right. His hopes of getting paid are sinking. Right. So, inside the inner chamber of the Frost King's tomb, right, a deafening silence has fallen as Amber Trapper Hammond tried to make her escape out through the narrow triangular entrance, setting off accidentally or on purpose the collapsing door trap that you were all, thanks to Sammy's skill set, had been prepared for and guided through. Possibly Samson was the one who had done that service for the villains, but Amber, without his guidance, or maybe because of his guidance, escapes collapsing the doorway, or maybe doesn't escape and dies in the doorway.
No.
We know what Chase believes, that all hope of reconciliation is broken, smashed, folded, spindled, and mutilated by ancient stone and ice. Now you are trapped inside the chamber, with the only light being your handheld flashlights. And ice dust and snow has been lifted up into the air, propelled by the force of the collapse of the doorway. And as the echoes die away, there is only the faint trickle of water and the creak of the disturbed longboats, which are all off of their firm supports, which have managed to sit there for 700 years, holding aloft their bounty in perfectly preserved beauty. But now the boats list and sink into the frozen lake. And, yeah. The glitter of scattered diamonds, the glitter of scattered gold plays across the walls, as do the reflections of ice and the crystals of the native stone of the cavern. Underneath Vicky, who is prone on top of a Nuksuk, there's this tiny voice which says, I'm probably okay.
Good thing, kid. And I roll off of him. And look around, try to get my bearings, what is the condition of the doorway? Is it completely blocked?
Well, it was a triangle, which was designed to have one side slide down the other and bring down a cascade of rock. A tremendous cascade of rock.
And with it like an arrow pointing at it is Chase's gun arm, still holding the pistol, with no intention of actually shooting Amber as she was running out. Just.
How many tears are trickling down?
There's just one. Just one, barely discernible.
Frozen on his face.
And in front of Chase, I've got the shield there, where I valiantly saved your life. I put the shield down and I kind of look up because the gun I figure is like right over here. Looking at Chase like, oh. And I kind of just take Chase's hand and kind of move it down so the gun's pointed at Samson instead of the doorway.
Yeah, and I'm not. I mean, I just I kind of registered.
You're in shock
for a second. I'm not, I think she made it out.
I'm sure she did, bud. I'm sure she did.
But how are we going to make it out?
Samson's got his hands up and he says, "Now, I know it looks like I was with them. But Amber, I didn't have any choice."
And this snaps me out of my shock for a second. I look right at Sam and said, "Friend of yours, huh?"
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know the story. All right, he's yours.
I'll say you're muted.
Oh, so, yeah. Was this exactly the same thing he said in Bahrain? Because it wasn't true in Bahrain.
You're right. As a matter of fact, he did say that.
Samson's, I don't remember you being in Bahrain.
You drank a lot in Bahrain.
What is the least threatening way or the least dangerous way for me to get across to the side where Samson is?
Well, I think they're all equally dangerous, and only the dice truly know the least dangerous way for you to navigate from the wreckage of the 3 boats to the relative safety of the shore.
Yeah, the rope worked fairly well for Vicky. I'm sure it's swung back by now.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't leap over to that rope and
guys, I think we definitely need to get over there, and I think that maybe Sam and I can start trying to look for an exit out of here, while maybe the other of you, maybe Chase and Vic can start gathering the most important stuff that we can take. We need to get working on this.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
I draw my gun and I point it at Samson and I say, "Okay, let's have your weapons. I think your employment is at least temporarily suspended."
But we're in the Arctic. I mean, there's polar bear. You're not really gonna leave me with no weapon.
Yeah. Once we get out of this cave, we may give it back to you. For now, I'll feel safer if you show me that gun. And I cock the hammer, right?
Vicky, come on,
Samson.
It's me. You never would have got out of Lebanon without me.
Maybe so.
He wouldn't have been in Lebanon if it wasn't for you.
Yeah. See, the guys are over there. The kid and I are over here. Let's have your gun and balance things out.
All right.
Also,
all right.
9 mils aren't much good against polar bears anyway. That's what I'm saying.
You heard the man.
As a gesture of good faith to prove to you that I'm a man of my word, unlike some people hiding behind their hoods. He takes it out with 2 fingers, right? Mm-hmm. And he passes it over.
Right. All right. So I stick it in my waistband and holster my own gun and start looking at the rubble, see if there's any way out. And as soon as I am convinced that there isn't, I'll probably start looking around the lake shore, see if there's a stream.
Right. All right. Sammy, can I have an alert, please? Crime and alert. And yeah. Vicky, where did you go, Vicky? Vicky. Culture.
Prepare. Culture.
Ooh.
I'm actually sure myself a die.
Judging by the way Samson is holding himself, the gun he handed over is not the only gun he has.
So do I roll the culture or?
Yes, please.
Oh. Well, that is a basic success.
Okay. Well, the deadfall, the collapsed doorway, is probably intended to be permanent.
Nice.
So as Vicky's looking around, I see Samson hand the gun over. And I go, small of his back, Vicky. There's one more.
I turn around and cock an eyebrow.
Sammy, I know, he's digging it out. I know you're convinced that people like you.
Why would he think that?
he passes the gun over. Says, but it's time to reconsider.
He's got a point there.
If anybody in here, Samson's going to like me or should like me, it's you, because it's the jobs I turned down that turn out to be the jobs you get hired for.
Ooh. Well, while this jovial banter is going on, I'm looking around the longbow at this and looking for anything that looks particularly important. But every once in a while, like a gold coin or some of these less priceless artifacts, or still look pretty good to shove in my pockets.
I'll be looking for a good path back from the boats to where the rest of the crew is to see if we can start looking for an exit.
I'm with Sean.
Right. So all of that kind of links up. Looking at the ruin of the doorway, it doesn't feel like the kind of digging or stone removal that the 4 of you could generate is going to have much of an effect on it. Like for every small stone you pull out, more stones are going to tumble down in their place.
Maybe the island where the sword was? I don't know. That might be a good place to go.
But this noise that's been on, like the edge of your hearing for a while is starting to have context. There is the sound of running water.
Oh, awesome.
Right.
You sure it's not Amber crying?
No, I'm not sure. But there is the sound of running water. And as the boats, they continue to make these wooden creaking noises of settling. That should have stopped already. They should have found some point of balance against each other as they've all kind of collapsed on their stone island. But they're still shifting by small increments and settling and moving. And now in the play of light from your flashlights, you can see that thin scum of ice over the hidden spikes is breaking up. There are large holes in it. And a steaming level of water is beginning to rise. Steaming with a scent of sulfur.
Hot springs.
Or
Hot springs here. Well, it seems we're not getting out this way. It's probably back to the boats. Let's look for a safe path back to the boats. Maybe I'll try and see if the lake sort of curves around. I mean, are the spikes all over the entire lake, or just a portion right next to the?
The original appearance of the cavern was roughly circular, or maybe more of an oval, right? All light, or all view was directed down the length of the boats to the stone bier on which the sword and shield were resting, right? That's what the whole thing looked like. And then when you look up, you got the three kings supporting the roof. And so, with the door behind you, that's what this place looked like.
Speaking of that shield, Vicky.
Yeah, I'll go get the shield and.
But now, with this echo of running water, that has to be an optical illusion. There would be nowhere for the water to run. It could be bubbling up from beneath, and the water level is definitely rising.
So
but it couldn't be making that running noise.
So maybe the trap opened up some ancient dam, and now there's more water flowing into this cavern.
Can I look at where the edges of this lake are and see if at any point whether the edge of the lake goes behind what appears to be the wall of the cavern? So is there a possibility that there's a passage via the lake?
That is exactly what's going on. One of the statues, right, the way the shadows were playing, right, its leg at the knee actually bends into the wall, the interior wall of the cavern. So it's not standing on 2 feet like the other two statues that you can easily see. There is a channel that probably leads in rather than leads out. How did they get these boats in here? They didn't come in the small triangular door.
Right.
All of which is completely escaped Chase's notice, because the only way to really get over a sudden shock is to fill your pockets. Because, listen, I'm not leaving here with just photographs. And this has happened before. It's not my first rodeo with Amber. So it's that moment of shock. And then, okay, what am I here for? So, I mean, as I'm going across the boat, I'm noticing it's listing and it's okay. It's little unsettling, and you kind of know, so, yeah, water. Okay, these guys. But I've traveled with Sean and the others before. I'm confident they're going to get us out of here. My job was to get us here. Their job is to get us out of this place. And so I'm searching, for things that are really priceless. Although I think that what Vicky has is sword and shield. That's a big thing. But there's a lot of other stuff here that should be taken back because it belongs in the museum. And the mini pearl's going to need some repairs too. And some of it might, okay, a little bit of it might go on the black market. You got to finance it somehow. Notoriety doesn't buy anything.
Now, Sammy, from where you're standing at this optical illusion that hides the channel, the access point, you can no longer see the island on which the boats were resting. Now, one of them, the central one, had listed all the way over on its side. It's righting itself. That's where Chase is. So he's being tossed left and right across the deck. Well, diamonds and coins are scattering left and right, and priceless plates and that sort of thing.
And there's 2 intact boats because
there are 3 intact boats to various degrees of intact. Yeah.
Because I think we broke one. We broke the middle one, I think. When it sort of fell over and and
Yeah,
broke.
it
So
rolled,
probably...
but they're tough and they're flexible.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
So am I having a hard time seeing this island because of the rising water?
Because of the rising water, and the ice has almost completely transformed into steam.
Right.
And so the room is filling up with steam, and in your winter wear, you're feeling it. And the smell is enough to start that sense of dizziness, that there's not enough air in my air.
We got to move fast.
So, and the would the one, when Sammy alerts us to his finding, the question is that tunnel big enough for one of these boats?
And it's against the current, so it'll be...
It's not against the current. It's all, the water is going where the water will go. And so the beach is rapidly becoming a strip. So floating at the edge of the water is Ericsson's big survival pack. No doubt filled with all kinds of products of disharmony.
Samson, did Erickson have a life raft or something in there? Inflatable boat?
No, he didn't have an inflatable boat. All he had was bombs and things to make bombs and things to make bombs look like they're not bombs.
Well, it might be useful. So I go and grab the pack, and I start, check the statue out, I yelled to the people in the boat. There might be some, they seem to be holding up the ceiling. Maybe there's something we can collapse and make an opening. Come on, there's no time to waste. So I grab
again, would the boats fit through the...
Yes, they'll fit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. So you gotta get
for a boat ride.
You gotta get your butts. You and Inukshuk, Vic, you gotta get your butts up on this boat. So we gotta, and then are there lifeboats? I don't think Vikings have lifeboats, but I don't know. Are there lifeboats that we could more easily steer? Or are we gonna have to like row a longboat out of
longboat out? Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Now,
well, I did some teams in college for a year.
Embarrassed, really embarrassed.
You can't swim, can you?
No, sir.
All right.
So
of
he's
course
on the
you can't
beach.
swim. You put your feet in that water around here, they turn purple and fall off.
No, it won't. There's such a thing as polar bear swimming in Alaska. What's wrong with you, Chase?
Okay.
But the water is hot.
Yeah.
Well,
I go
that water.
Go test it. Be careful. Go test it. How hot is it? So I hand the shield over to Samson, and I say, "You want to be in the club? Grab this. Get to the boat." And then I run back to Inukshuk and see how warm the water is.
The water is uncomfortably warm, but if you just want to splash your way over to the boats, the problem is the spikes. It's not swimming depth yet.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the rope.
Just swing back, kids. Come on.
So who can be in a boat at this point?
Chase is in the boat.
Chase in the boat.
Is in the boat.
I think Sean's in the boat.
All right. Sammy's going to make his way to a boat.
Okay.
So this Inukshuk kid, he's not too big, is he?
No. He's typical underfed 16, just before his last, real growth spurt.
Right.
And he's wiry and strong, but not
You're
too
not gonna
many
drop
opportunities to swim in the Arctic.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of
he's
carrying
hold on
him
tight.
piggyback, right? Yeah, so it's like
The other thing is maybe we could use one of the longboat oars. I mean, they're pretty long, right? To help make a bridge.
Yeah.
So you can do like a monkey bar type.
Eyeballing it can be done, especially because the boats are now free floating.
because my
They're
thought
going
is
to
to
have problems with the spikes also, but
I'll try to make my way to the rope, grab it, and then pull back to the shore to sort of build up momentum so I can run forward and try and swing over to the boat. So that's my plan. Wading into the water, getting the rope, moving back to shore, having the kid ride on piggyback, right? And then trying to swing over with him.
Okay. Stunt, disadvantage.
All right. So it's 5. Disadvantage is 4. Oh, well. What's my difficulty here?
Well, it's imperative that you make it, for you, critical.
Yeah.
It's imperative that you make it for him, so critical.
2 criticals. Okay,
Utah.
this is...
Give me 2.
Give me 2. It's not going to work, but here we go.
I believe you can fly.
Oh, Jesus, straight. But it's heights. It's heights. So I get a reroll. So
That was a beautiful failure.
come on, 4 of a kind.
Your
Come
mind
on.
is filled with the possibilities of failure when
I get a basic. So at least I get something, right? So I think I grabbed the thing. I cut myself on the spikes, move back, grab the kid, run forward, swing the rope, throw the kid, right? And
so the kid makes it.
The kid makes it. I sort of let go of the rope and just bang myself on the deck of the
I'm going to come back to you in a moment, Vicky. All right, Sean. As Vicky's feet leave the beach, right? This rope has been used and abused. Okay? So, it's only by Vicky's tremendous skill that Anuk-Suk makes it his fingertips, not his fingers, mind you, just this joint, right? Just the first tip of his fingers is on the edge of the boat, right? He slams into the boat, got a bloody nose, right? His eyes are like shocked, like he's not really sure what to do with the pain. And of course, you know what's going to happen. He's going to open his hands, he's going to grab his nose or something, and he will fall to his death. Are you going to let that happen?
Of course not. I'm going to try and.
Wow, you thought about that for a long time.
Sure did. You sure did.
I was muted because of the dog.
Well, we've only known him for a couple days,
They can make more kids.
Vicky needs help. Wait. Yeah, I'm going to grab him. So, let's see. Is that toughness or?
It's going to be a stunt. Yes.
All right, stunt. Let's go for it. Let's see. We got here 2 6s, 2 2s, and a 5.
Nice.
The 2 basics.
All right. Okay, so you got him, right? Maybe around the wrists.
Yeah.
Right, as he's trying to reach his hands up to, he's like, my nose, right? And he slips and you get him. And so you're in time to see Vicky with a rope that's no longer attached to anything hit the water. And she's submerged. To pop up near Sammy. There's a tremendous current. The water's moving so quickly it looks motionless. So she was right in front of you, but now she's on the other side of the cavern, almost moving at light speed. Sammy,
I'm guessing that's not the direction that we want to go, right?
it is the direction you want to go.
Oh, it is the direction. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I'm in the boat?
Well, not yet.
No.
Okay, I need to get in the boat.
So you don't care
Screw
about
Vicky,
Vicky?
I'm
We can
getting in
just
the boat.
wash her out of the...
I'm thinking I'm trying. I want to try to get in the boat to get the boat to Vicky. Or does that not make sense? Do I have the spatial?
There will
We're on
not
the
be
boat.
enough time.
Not where you were, yeah.
Then I got to get to Vicky then.
So I'll rephrase just to make
Sorry.
sure it's clear to everybody. So over there by the statue, where is the hidden access point, entrance, exit, Sammy was looking for a way to get back to the boat, which means, kind of coming back toward along the beach, around the edge of the rising water to get closer to the boats to join. While he's doing that, Vicky makes her heroic effort to rescue Inuksuk, but is betrayed by faulty equipment, right? And then there's that moment of shock, that cold shock of someone's going to die as two figures are heading for the water. But somehow Vicky gets enough force behind Inuksuk that he slams into the side of the boat where he's rescued by Sean. But she herself is carried away by the current, right? Under the water, probably scraping over spikes as she goes. And her head comes up right in front of you.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, can I just reach out and grab her? Can I grab some?
I don't know.
Clothing? Can you like spatially? Can that happen?
Spatially, sure.
All right.
But
All right. So let's roll this up. What's the difficulty, and what do you want me to roll?
I want you to. I'm open to suggestions, but I was thinking it might be kind of interesting for this to be a cool check with guts.
Yeah.
Boiling hot water, spikes, rapids.
And can Vicky assist me?
No,
Yeah.
she
No,
needs
no.
help.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
All right. Do I need basic, critical? I've only got 3 dice.
Woo, interesting.
Wah, wah.
I need a critical.
All right. So I got a basic.
Okay.
I don't have anything in expertise that'll help.
If you risk it, there's a 1 in 6 chance you'll get the critical, and a 5 in 6 chance that you'll blow it all.
Yeah, but there's
That's a bad chance.
still Vicky.
It'll just be
Go for
somewhat
it.
complicated.
I should be able to swim, right? Hopefully.
Trying to think of what makes sense here. Yeah, I'm gonna, and if I risk it, I'm risking my basic.
Yep.
I might have to just stick with the basic. I don't like the 1 in 6, Vicky. I just hope the basic can do something. I mean,
Sure, it can do something.
Yeah, of course it can.
Okay.
all right, let's do that.
So, everybody remembers how luck can be worn away by circumstance?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was a critical challenge. In both cases, it was a critical challenge. Met with a basic success in both cases.
Right.
Meaning, each of you has whittled away some of your luck.
So it's 3 points because it's a critical, -1, which is mitigated by
By the basic.
by
So
the
you
basic.
each
So it's
lose
net
2 luck.
result of 2.
So I just go down to 0 luck because I only had 1 luck left.
Ooh,
So I'm out of luck.
almost.
That's okay. You got a coin.
That's what the
Now-
coin is for. Yeah.
The water is perhaps what tripped Sammy up. Like I said, it was moving so quickly it looked motionless. It looked like glass. But reaching in to grab Vicky's force actually pulls Sammy into the water. And the two of them are now tumbling one over the other, right, across the surface of spikes, and it's tearing at clothes. And which item are you going to lose?
Well, I think my grappling hook is already used
Already
up
gone.
on the ceiling. So that leaves my compass or my pistol.
You also have
I also have
Sammy's
Samson's
pistols.
pistols.
Samson's
yeah.
pistols, yeah.
Yeah. So I think Samson's pistols are gone, and probably my compass as well. So I'll keep my own pistol, but that's about
Okay.
it.
Perhaps your own pistol is in a more accessible location. Okay.
So it's secured in a holster. The other pistols were just on my waistband, right? So those are gone
Gotcha.
by the tumbling.
They're gone, right?
Yeah.
And so you sleeves are torn and stylish holes in pants, that kind of stuff. Which of course is death in the Arctic, but we'll get to that later. Sammy, what have you lost?
I lost my gun. I can see it just kind of drift out of my jacket at that point. I'm trying to get focused on getting oriented, get my head above water, and if I can, get Vicky.
All right. So it's scraping across spikes, and then for a brief moment, the water pressure slams you up against a smooth stone surface, and then, like being pressed over the rounded lip of a smooth porcelain bathtub, you are in a channel where the water's moving even faster. But this is like a really hot bath.
Have we passed beneath the statue's feet already? Are we into
yes.
the...
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy. Trying to feel around for some sort of rocky protrusion to cling to until the
Right.
the boats approach. Right.
And so we lose sight of these two for a little bit as the boat that Sean and Inuksuk and Chase and Samson is climbing up on drifts into this current.
All right.
Alrighty.
Chase, I think you should, or Sammy, you should take that shield away from your friend. He might think it's his share. And maybe let's shine some lights over the sides and, get a rope or an oar or something to try and fish these people out if we see them as we drift by. That would be my plan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Get an oar, Sean. And I'll just look over Sam's like, put the damn shield down, grab an oar. And because we gotta move this thing. I think my plan is to, I was in teams in college. My plan is just try to steer this boat as much as I can towards where our friends are. Doubtless they have to have made it in the channel. They have to be holding on to something. They can't be dead. That's ridiculous. And so I'm just trying to
Wait, you went to college?
Shut up. So for 1 year, I did last year. I said I did teams for 1 year in college. It just was the year. It was a half a year. But anyhow, I'm pushing.
That makes sense.
4 days. It was 4 days.
But it felt like a year.
They want you to go to class. Listen,
It was tryouts.
They want you to go to class. I mean, who knew? Who knew you're supposed to go like all the time, or like most of the time, more than half the time. So, but
Chase,
yeah.
as you move toward the rudder at the rear of the boat, it's on one side, right? This huge tiller, right?
Right.
You have to pass by the Frost King, who's been spilled off of his place of final repose, right? He's just dumped unceremoniously onto the deck of his ship. But standing at the tiller is his loyal captain. I literally mean standing, right? As you turn around, right, as the boat hits the water and rights itself, this figure stands up and grasps the tiller. Right? Another one of these diabolical marionettes, and the same is happening on the other boats, except their kings are still in place in their resting places, right? And as the boats fall into line, right, it's almost like you're guiding a flotilla out of the tomb, and the speed is starting to pick up. Okay. And Sean, in the bow, next to the dragon's head, right, which still smells like this leathery bladder that propelled the lethal darts, you can see just ahead of the prow, the spiked prow of the Viking boat. You can see Vicky and Sammy tumbling along in the current.
All right. So maybe that's where I can grab them from. I'm gonna go out into the slippery metal ram of the ship and see if I can grab one of them from there. Maybe the one can grab the other.
From the neck and sort of lean down into the water. Nice.
This will definitely be tough.
All right.
Can I assist with a swimming check, right? So trying to... To swim towards him, right?
Let's see. Let's do it this way. Let's see if Sean can provide a platform for you. And then if he can survive the rigor, then we'll see if you and Sammy can climb out.
Oh, this is fantastic. I got 4 6s, a 3, and a 5.
Oh!
Out of the park.
Extreme.
So almost as if hewn from the Arctic rock himself, Sean Thornton is presenting a hand from the prow of the Viking longboat from centuries in the past. Can you make use of this? Now you are at disadvantage, Sammy and Victoria, and this will be a stunt.
All right. So 4 dice. Critical, 3 4s.
Here we go.
Nice.
Oh.
Not good at all, and
So
I can't reroll.
What I'd like to do is I see Sean's hand come out, and Sammy identifies it as I'm swimming. Just really hard time. What's up? What's down? And this is the first thing that's come into my line of view that's indicated what's up and down for me. And instead of reaching for his hand, I end up grabbing his forearm, and hopefully with this critical, I can grab Vicky as well and get Vicky's clothing into Sean's hand. Does that make sense? So I'm going to keep hold of Sean, but I'm putting Vicky into Sean's hand. I don't know if that critical is good enough for that or not.
I don't dislike it.
Should I take critical damage again from
Yes,
the
ma'am.
failed check? And perhaps this also means that I'm broken,
Yes, ma'am.
which would be the bad feeling associated to the wild because I'm trying to swim and it's not working. I'm almost drowning here.
And not to interrupt that flow, but I'd like to point out that when Sammy, this is the first thing he's seen that gives him a sense of up or down, that means in his entire life.
Oh yeah, without question. Without question. Well, that's not necessarily true. I've had a sense of what's down because I see you there all the time.
Ooh.
Ouch.
I can feel the love.
Always.
Would you two shut up already?
Chase and Sammy, for this classic display of the 90s bromance, please take for yourselves an additional luck coin.
Yay!
Nice.
I'm not out of luck.
All right. Yes, Vicky. Broken. All right. But you're on Sean. And Sean is on the prow. This totally anachronistic ram. This
Hanging down
Viking
from the
longboat.
Viking prow.
Right. As somehow you come out into the orange light of dawn in the frigid waters of the Arctic. The three boats.
We don't see a periscope around there, do we?
No.
I was paying attention.
The three boats, right, separate into a wedge shape. And the other two kings, right, hands on sword, suddenly, as the light falls on them, erupt into flame.
Oh, wow, nice.
Massive flame.
Awesome.
That's cool.
All of a sudden, I'm hearing the horns from the movie The Vikings, or the funeral scene in Witcher 3, right? The mournful horns.
So what burst in the flame? I'm sorry, I was looking.
The kings.
The kings.
The
All
other
three
ships.
boats.
So now
Oh,
the ships are on fire like the Viking funerals, which is pretty awesome.
But our ship, is that?
I was just about to say, do we have a
king?
king still on our ship?
We
He's
don't.
excited.
You have a
Oh, he's listening to the
disrespected,
side. Yeah.
crumpled king tossed
Just
off
on the floor.
Yeah. So whatever curious device caused this to happen had been destroyed by your antics aboard his vessel.
Okay. And at this point, to go back to where Sean has pulled Vicky up, I'm have maneuvered to the side of the boat. I'm getting myself into the boat now, after Sean's help.
And you're greeted by Sammy, who said, "Oh, you lived."
Hey, college man, do you think you can steer this towards the shore?
I could try. I'm pushing the captain aside. Excuse me, sir. Pushing this aside. I'm looking at the other boats, just bursting into flame, like just in kind of horror, because somebody remember where this was. I mean, this stuff is going right to the bottom of the ocean. There's so much more.
And Uksuk is sitting next to you, and he kind of starts tugging at your sleeve.
Uksuk.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt your plan to beach the ship, but it seems that you can't carry all the stuff that's on it. So why don't we just sail to Pangnertung?
That's a good idea. So, do you know how to sail?
Well, it's a rowboat.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I did Tim's in college for a while.
But
I can't wait to go to college.
The girls in college love a broken nose. They'll think you box, but there's still your plane.
I was just about to say
that. Yeah, there's a plane.
Yeah, but how often do you get to sail into a metropolis like Pangnertung in a Viking longboat? And I'm pretty sure that my uncle will come and take pictures. He writes for the newspaper.
Damn straight.
We can always hire some dog teams and go get the pearl later.
Yeah. You still got the keys to the plane, don't you, Chase?
This is perfect for that Anakin and Padme meme. You got them,
right?
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so it's a good idea. It's a good idea. So we're definitely changing the course of this boat at this point.
I actually kind of like smack Inuksuk on the back, unconsciously rougher than it was. Hey, kid, it's looking like you're the brains of this outfit. Should consider this instead of college.
That wouldn't be that hard.
Not saying much. I didn't say it was saying much.
We got to build a fire before we freeze to death.
Well, you see
the wet ones.
Sammy's taking off his jacket, and I get my jacket off. And kind of like those quick change magician artists, or a magician taking the tablecloth and pulling the tablecloth and leaving the glasses on. You see me reach over to Samson's jacket, and then Samson is not wearing his jacket anymore, and you just see me putting it on.
Hey, Vic, Sammy. Usually, when you go skinny dipping, you take your clothes off before.
Yeah, come on, pretty boy, grab an oar. That'll keep you warm. Start rolling.
Grab an oar.
Yeah.
I'll get Viking shield or something off the gunnel and put it on and I don't know, put something in there to build a fire with before we freeze to death.
Well,
there are braziers.
There are,
right.
Yeah, yes, there must be.
So.
Yeah.
All right. So it would take, if it were not a 90s movie, far longer to make this journey than probably you would like. But we pull in to the harbor at Pangnertung. And of course, the beach is lined with the locals. And huge banners are up, right? And thanking you individually, because remember the sheriff had your names, thanking you individually for recovering this ancient treasure that will help Pangnertung restore its fortunes and build a school and build a better hospital. And
I like it.
They've got your pictures up, surrounded by hearts. And
as we come in, obviously, Sean kind of moves up and hangs onto the thing and lifts the sword. We got it, hanging onto the prow, lifting the sword. I always wanted to do this, guys.
Vicky is probably wrapped up in some furs that were found in the hold of the ship, right? So
No doubt.
Yeah.
The dead captain.
It's the perfect length and cut,
Yes, you know how it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Very
Samson's
short
jacket is
Vikings.
nice.
Yeah, I guess.
The
I
half,
like
half
Samson's
of Viking.
jacket.
Okay. So, after talking to the local government, the local constabulary, and the like about the treasure and whether or not there's a finder's fee and all of these things, we are back in the last pine. Coffee and hash and baked beans and ham are on the house. The owner is on the phone talking about redecorating in a Viking theme. But you're the only ones in there. Like most of the chairs are upside down on the tables. You're the only table that has a tablecloth. And Uksuk is gone, having had
Grounded.
to report to his parental units.
He's grounded, man. I bet you anything he's grounded.
Well, he also had to go to the hospital because of his broken nose, which it had just enough time to set a little bit, so now it has to be rebroken.
Nice.
All right.
So we've had a chance to catch our breath, which means our luck points are restored. Just in case.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the bad feelings I wanted to address.
Exactly.
Yeah, broken requires some sort of healing checks.
Right. Which
and
shocked is the other one I had. So
right.
And embarrassed requires talking to people.
So let's start there. Right. So we have a paramedic who comes in to take a look at everybody's injuries and then quietly leaves. But Sammy, is there something you'd like to share? I mean, you don't have to. You can hang on to embarrassment.
No, I'm trying to think.
What caused him to become embarrassed in the first place? What exactly was that?
A big fall. A big fall.
A big fall. That's right. Yeah.
So, guys,
cat burglar. Yeah.
I told you that the rope was slippery. It wasn't slippery. I just let go. I just lost my grip. And yeah.
Hey, you didn't lose your grip on me, and that's where it counted.
No.
So
no, that's true. That's true. But it could have gone smoother. I still think knocking out the boat thing was the good idea. I still think that was a good idea. I'm not sure we would have made it out otherwise, but yeah. I think Chase might be better at grabbing ropes than me. And that's not easy for me to say out loud.
Are you recording this, Sean? Did you have that little dictation recorder?
Now, on the other side of town, at the RCMP station, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Station, Sammy is behind bars. Samson is behind bars, and he's saying, Me? I had a picture. It was him. He stole my coat. And he's so upset he can't even get it out. But he's convinced that it should be you standing here, Sammy, instead of him. I'm a legitimate businessman, is the last thing we hear him say.
Yes, Samson, the so-called art dealer.
Now, as the last baked bean and piece of homemade warm brown bread, right, is consumed in the restorative process of recovery, that is when the door is darkened. As if there was a discount on bald, mean-looking men with strategically placed tattoos that they themselves will never see because they're on the backs of heads or the backs of necks.
Well, if they have necks.
They come striding in. And even their mode of walking has a Russian accent. And one of them says in his thick Russian accent, "Is this them?" And this tiny little person. No, it's not tiny. She's just dwarfed by the massiveness of the thugs. It's Amber. And she says, "That's them. They're the ones who destroyed Mr. Donovan's treasure."
Amber!
I turned to Chase. I'm like, God damn it, Chase.
Hey, you made it!
And there is the sound of cocking automatic slides.
Oh,
Yes.
this escalated quickly.
They have come
The
from Moose and
bar.
Squirrel.
The tables, the upside-down chairs begin to fragment in a line, walking its way towards you across what used to be the last pine, and may now be
The Swiss pine.
out of business.
The last stump, the pine stump, is now the name.
The last colander. Yeah.
Let's call it. Yeah.
I,
Would you like to stand there and take it?
No, I'd like
No,
to
no.
flip the table to try to create a barrier between us and Chase with his arms out towards Amber. Try to grab Chase and get him behind the table with me.
My intent is to try to dive behind the bar so then I can try and sneak around behind them.
All right. To get out of this without unduly winding yourselves, we'll take a critical. Anything you want to do beyond getting out of the range of shot will take more than a critical. And this is...
So to be clear, our conditions, our bad feelings are gone, right? Because I've
Yes, your bad
shot
feelings are gone.
and drinking and the pub and relaxing probably takes care of that.
Coffee.
The healing
Coffee.
power of baked beans and the coffee and the paramedic, the quiet paramedic.
Paramedic,
Right,
excellent.
whose
All
soothing
right.
presence encouraged Sammy to open up like a tender flower in the desert and shed his darker feelings.
And so we're just stunting with a critical to survive this? Is that the...
Yes,
So,
to avoid winding up in a worse situation than being shot at, you need to get a critical. Anything above the critical you can apply to other cool things.
Nice. So I'll dive to the booth right next to us, right? So there's Sammy and Chase behind the table, which has
Hopefully.
been knocked over, and I am Sean to the bar and me to the booth. So here we go.
So we're looking at stunts here, gents.
Okay, I got a basic, so I'm going to risk it.
Oh,
Oh, geez, I got nothing again.
you did. You're really good at that.
This is horrible.
I got two basics. Now can I use my sixth sense as an
expertise? Absolutely.
Oh, goody, because that'd be cool.
So I had 2 5s, and I rolled, when I risked it, I rolled 2 5s and a 6. So that's like an extreme success.
Very nice.
Nice. I did end up with a critical and a basic.
So
Okay.
I only have a basic, but I do have an extra luck now.
Yes.
But that's different than having an extra luck coin, right? I still only have the
No.
same one.
No,
coin.
I gave you an extra luck coin.
You gave me an
Yeah,
extra luck.
2
coin.
coins.
Got it. All right. So now that I have only rolled a basic, can I still then go, okay, now I want to risk my coin? Or do I have to
That
do
would
that
be the-
before?
I honestly
I think it's
no. I think you have to do
let's-
it one or the other. But let's find
Well,
out
I
right
can,
now.
I can
Let's-
toss a critical your way, though. I have the equivalent of 3 crits.
You have to do it before rolling dice.
Okay.
Right.
According to
So-
otherwise cheat sheet. So yeah.
So Sean has a lot of extra successes, and Chase has an extra
one extra
success.
success.
So one of those things.
Shit, I'm going to owe Chase now again, aren't I?
No, this time you're going to own Sean, I think.
Yeah, this time you're going to owe Sean because he can give you a better extra boost than can.
Yeah. No,
so how about this? How about I end up taking off towards the bar, seeing where Sean goes. Sean, I imagine you get over the bar like beautiful, right? Like Van Damme over the bar. I get to the bar, I get on top of the bar, and then you see Sean's hand reach up and just yank me back.
Bullets rig the bottle.
Exactly.
Like, bullets rig the bottle.
Boom, 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 towards my head, towards my face, and I just.
And I was thinking the same thing, right? So Vicky's about to dive for the booth, and maybe Chase just hangs on to the back of her pants and pulls her back right to the table.
Okay. So we've got those two in the booth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've got the other two behind the bar.
Yep.
Yeah, and if I can use that third crit, I try to start sneaking, see if I can sneak around these guys to blindside them later.
Okay.
And the basic I have is I'm just tossing my my empty plate like a frisbee, right towards these guys to try to distract them somewhat, to really, maybe give them some sort of disadvantage or whatever.
Okay.
It's a plate going through their head.
So you've been in the kitchen before, Sean.
Yeah.
So you can hook through the kitchen. You remember that there was a staff door that Anuksuk went in.
Right.
Right. So you could hook around through the kitchen and come out behind the gunners that way.
Perfect.
Now, so they shoot across the bar, and the last thing they blow apart is the jukebox. They just shear the top right off it, but it erupts into life.
Yes.
And suddenly the bar is just blasting with more ZZ Top. It's "Give Me All Your Lovin', All Your Hugs and Kisses Too." And Amber's standing there saying, "Not that song again!"
Just like Reno, baby. Just like Reno.
All right, so what do you want to do?
I'm behind the bar. At this point, I've grabbed a whiskey bottle. I've uncorked it with my teeth, and I've grabbed a bar towel. And I'm stuffing the bar towel into the whiskey bottle.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
I'm returning fire myself.
who was talking about redoing the bar as in a Viking theme. The coil of his phone is just dancing because it's been shot off, and he's looking at you and says, "No fire, no fire."
So
All right, so we have one Molotov cocktail.
I draw my gun, and
I'm returning fire.
Try to move forward to a stone column, right, supporting the ceiling, so I can get a better vantage position and shoot at them.
Okay.
and I will, of course, be from cover from the kitchen door. I'll draw my 45, and before firing on them, I'll say, "Hey, commies, machine guns are illegal in Canada."
Sean, gun control Thornton.
And I will empty my magazine at these yahoos, is what I'm going to do. So.
All right. Now, Sean, because you managed to save Sammy in such a powerful way, and because you've managed to get a great position and deliver a telling line, I think it's time to start feeling powerful.
All right.
Okay. So let's go in order of declaration. Let's have Sammy ramp the heat up a little bit.
Literally.
Bringing the heat.
So, despite the danger of the guns, as soon as that thing gets lit, then I'm like, I stand up as if I'm bulletproof and just.
Okay,
Awesome.
Make it happen.
No fire.
Or suffer
no
the
fire.
consequences.
No fire, no fire. Crash.
So, what are we thinking? Shoot.
Dexterity.
Shoot. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because you
Might be
got to
cool.
be
That
cool
sounds
to
pretty cool.
stand up right
Okay.
and
All right.
face the
Fair
fire while you. Cool.
Let's do cool.
I mean, there's no idiotic score, so I'm guessing cool is closest.
Madness.
All right. So I've got a basic success. Is that enough? Because if not, I'm going to use my sabotage expertise to re-roll my other die.
I would recommend re-rolling because these are not your average thugs on a Saturday night.
All right. I still just left with my basic. I only have 3 dice.
Risk it all. Risk it all.
If it's a free roll, right? Just roll it.
Well,
So, yeah, but I'm risking my basic. At least the basic gives me something.
If
No,
you
not on
have
the
an expertise, you keep your success and you roll whatever extra dice you have.
I did that already.
he did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no.
I did that already.
It didn't pan
Yeah.
out. All right.
And I'm still left with my basic.
Okay.
Fine.
So they are
So something's
driven
getting on
back.
fire.
They are driven back by the eruption of flame. But it didn't go far enough. Okay. So, because of the wild abandon which they filled the place with lead, as the bottle is arcing through the air, parts of the ceiling are falling down, impacting against the bottle, driving it down onto a table, which erupts into a spray of flame. And so, they're flinching back for a moment, and some of them are singed. They don't have any hair to lose, but if they did, they would. And Sean.
Browns.
All right. So let's shoot at them.
I saw that, Ivan. That was good.
Hey, I've singed my eyebrows before, like lighting charcoal with too much lighter fluid.
I'm not emptying my mag because it's the last one I have.
Oh.
So
That's a good reason.
I might want to be able to shoot more than once. Okay, so we got 2 6s. I got 2 basics. So I think I might want to risk one of them because with 2 basics, I'm unlikely to harm these guys. Right.
Go for it.
I have 50% chance of, and I got it. I got a 1 and a 4, so 3 1s and 2 6s. So I got a crit and a basic. So I guess I could use that basic to
Take cover.
get back into cover. Right. That's like
Right.
the basic material. So I
Right.
shoot a couple of rounds and get back into cover.
Okay. So with the critical, you can take one of them out, or you can with your one shot. So
Yeah. So it's just one of them. Yeah.
all right. So there was one that was locking eyes with you, and on the back he had a very trendy barcode.
And he was probably saying, I am a businessman. I'm no commie. Boom. I am
Right, so,
businessman.
he staggers back into the cloakroom, right? Which removes cover from Amber. Right. Chase.
Chase is emptying the mag, and I'm just as the song is going on, I was like, just spraying the bullets. So I'm singing along. I've seen that video 500 times, and I'm just thinking about spinning that guitar. Okay, let's see. And my God, all right. So that's 2 basics. So I'm gonna risk one on. I'm gonna get 2 basics here.
That's good.
You won't let up until you're through.
That's right. And all right, so that's an extreme and a basic. Yeah, baby.
Nice, a full house.
No, that's a 4 of a kind. And, yeah,
Overkind is an extreme, so that's 3 criticals, right?
3 criticals.
Right.
So
3 criticals.
Chase,
Yeah.
tell me how you leave Amber all alone in the entrance of what's left of this bar, this burning bar.
Yeah, I mean, just a spray of bullets, heading towards these guys, and I'm just emptying this gun out, and I'm popping one and toppling over, and shooting another guy, shooting my gun like right in his hand, like he's guys
So
slipping.
are you driving them out, or are you taking them out?
I'm taking him out. I'm popping the gun out of his hand and shooting him again, like in the kneecap. The guy slipping on some of the Molotov cocktail, the burning alcohol on the floor. As I'm just popping these guys right out, it's just it's tragic, the way that the shots are just popping into them. It's like too easy. Shooting fish in a barrel. Fish in a barrel, I tell you.
Big targets.
Okay. Shooting Russians in a bar.
Right.
Vicky
knocking signs, things off the bar as well. So that's
Vicky, please do what Chase can't do.
Yeah,
Amber is. She has this look on her face of pure rage, and she's lining up a shot right for Chase's melon.
Right. So I'm running out of my cover towards a concrete column, right, to take cover behind. But I'm shooting as I go, right, and I'm emptying my mag as well. So
that's advantage.
Oh, at least a basic. Yeah, nice.
Basic. Do I risk that?
It's only
That's
Chase.
good.
You can get another Chase.
Sure. Come on.
Pilots are like a dime a dozen.
Let's risk it. There we go.
There it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least wounded her. This probably could take a couple of those, but.
All right. Now, as you recall, there was a large number of trendy items up in the rafters and whatnot, and but that as you open fire, emptying your mag and taking cover, Amber is driven out into the snow as the fire really starts to take hold. There's a nice canoe that's running the length of the bar. It goes up because it was dry varnish, so it's a perfect vector for all the heat and the smoke, and of course that gets into the flags and the
ropes connecting them.
The ropes, the nets, the lobster traps, the decorative Coleman lanterns, and
Please tell me, wearing Samson's coat, I can walk out the front door in slow motion with the flames behind me. Please tell me I can do that.
All walk out the front door with the flames behind you.
Beautiful.
Inexplicably in slow motion.
Exactly.
Well, but is Amber? Is she still shooting at us, or is she like running for it?
Amber has recognized that discretion is the better part of valor.
Okay.
And has blended into the eternal night of the Arctic.
So you could have hurt her. You could have killed her.
Not now, Chase. Get out of here. And so, because the place is on fire and I'm kind of cut off from the exit, I'm going to dive through a window.
There we
I'm going to do.
The recently repaired window?
Yes. The exact same window.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys realize that this place most probably uses a gas stove, right? We're all clear on this.
That's the detail that I'm holding tightly in my fingers.
There's no way this place has an electric stove, gentlemen.
You're right.
What is this? Don't tell me this is another one of those. Oh well, there's a.
No, you had a 6 in there. You rolled a 6. One of those 2s you turned over. I saw it roll 2 6s. You had a basic in there.
All right. So maybe that's good enough to get out the window.
So you get out the window with a little bit of, a little bit worse for wear, right? But are able to roll to your feet as the others come trooping out with the guy still holding the phone, right? So he's looking backwards. You're not walking. You're running.
I'm not walking because Sean said this place is a gas stove. I'm like, you're right. And I'm just looking. I'm thinking, well, he's clearly going to run too. I'm not going to save anybody this time.
So first, there's the flame.
Well, Sean, like as he walks out slowly, behind Sam, he like takes out his shades and slides them on.
and Sammy pauses for a second, realizing counting heads and you see me about to turn back in when Vicky comes through the window.
Flying out
through the window. All the smoke comes out with Vicky. And then, really for no reason, the entire bar explodes. Yeah. Raining toothpicks down upon actual toothpicks and things that used to be wall down on the quiet community of Pangnertung.
Hey, guy. Hope you had good insurance.
He's still holding the phone and says, "They're not answering."
Yeah.
Sounds like typical insurance.
Well,
we
guys,
haven't gotten the plane back yet, have we?
and it's kind of nice being heroes for what, 6 hours.
Thanks, Sammy. Thanks a lot. Did you hear him say no fire? No fire. This is coming out of your share.
Is there any glimpse of Amber, or is she gone?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was up to at that point, running out the bar, like trying to load the other mag, and just I don't want to hit her, but my goodness,
Well, you can try and pursue her, of course. It's a snowy community.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I think I'm going to go run after her.
All right, let's give me a scouting roll.
Okay, well, I think Sean will go after her, but
If you want any help there?
no, no, it's okay because this is more apropos. I have written this. I've rolled a straight, so yes, no, of course I don't.
Beautiful. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with your dark figures against the flaming bar in this Arctic community under the starry daytime sky of the Arctic, we see an orange plane with its green and red light fly low over and through the smoke, and we imagine, just for a moment, we can hear, "I'll get you next time, Chase!" As Amber steals Minnie Pearl.
I thought you said you had the keys.
That bitch.
And we fade to black, and the credits roll.
Nice.
Chase, getting screwed usually means getting screwed.
Awesome.
This was fantastic.
I can't believe it. She took the pearl.
The two things you love flying away.
Such a romantic Sandy.
Well, in this genre of movie, it wasn't uncommon for your girlfriend to leave you for another woman.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
And to be specific, the plane left you for Amber.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were all thinking.
What a woman.
The thing, and obviously the thing is that the series continues. Inukshuk has to be the sidekick, right? He's the brains of the outfit anyway.
We might need to take him out of this movie.
Might take Inukshuk with us, right? In the next adventure. Just...
Also, I'm also imagining as that fade goes and we see Chase kind of watching the plane go, Sammy comes up and just pats off a little part that's burning on his back before Chase notices.
And they absolutely watching to that little orange and black dot just disappear. What if he goes to? Yeah.
Is there another bar in this town? That was awesome. That really was awesome.
So, Anthony, I got my PDFs from backing it on Kickstarter, but I haven't had a chance to flip through it yet. The one thing I'm not real clear about, and maybe we should talk about, is there a prescribed setting and a timing for this? Is it more a genre style type setting that Broken Compass proclaims, and then you can put it in the 30s or the 90s or whatever?
The core rules, the adventure journal, it puts it to you that you could try it in the 30s with a lot of similar kind of ideas, but they couch it in terms of 1999. So you get imagery from both, and there are setups for both, and that's like the classic, square jawed pulp
default
hero.
setting.
Yeah, and the Lara Crofts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff that's coming reskins it for a variety of different things, like an age of piracy, an age of exploration, fantasy now. There already is a cyberpunk one that's available off their website, and so on and so forth. So, the default setting, or the one that the exemplar setting, I guess, is this: the Mummy, or any of the action movies that we watched as younger men.
But the style that this mechanically this supports and everything is cinematic action movie.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. And
That's
so
cool.
The way that it's written is like someone sitting with you at the table, preparing you to run the game. And I really found it enjoyable and easy to read. It's like, okay, so don't worry, we're going to get to that in a minute, but right now you need to learn this, and then there's an example and clear text, and then you move on to the next stage.
I'm gonna
The combat
Really
section is more fleshed out. It's more details, which contains something that I find brilliant, that I specifically have noted before as a quote-unquote problem for me in games like Fate, which is, you keep tapping the same aspect all the time in Fate, right? So you could theoretically run the entire game and just tap the same aspect over and over. Well, here it tells you in combat, for example, if you're undercover, right, like if you're hiding behind a table and you've got advantage for cover, that only lasts for one pass at you, right? So in the next time you act, you have to procure new cover, and this is genre appropriate, right?
You can stay, if you stay behind cover, which you can, you also take a disadvantage.
You take disadvantage to shoot. It's worse for you to shoot.
Yeah.
Which prompts you to seek new cover, right?
Nice.
So you roll to attack, and say you get a full house, right? Like a critical and a basic. Well, you could use the critical to hit the enemy and the basic to reach new cover, right? And because it's a trope of action movies, we can't stay here. We're getting pinned down, right? So they rush for the next. You're like, well, they're already undercover, right? Why are they moving? And that's sort of what I tried to do with Vicky, right? Run from the table to the cement column, middle, and then move elsewhere, right? But I like that they just sort of put it in there so you don't. No, we stay under, we go out and shoot, and then we pop back, and then we go out and shoot, and then we pop back. Because that's what tends to happen in these types of games, right?
That's true, though. Oh, okay, I'll go first. It's just true that the book is very well written, and it's true that it's very well translated. Like, I really was surprised to find that it was translated from Italian, because I was like, wow, this really is conversational English, and really, But the thing that I really enjoy about this is, on a first pass, you read the game and you're thinking, well, gosh, you can roll, but then you can re-roll, and then then you're losing luck points and the luck point. And at first, the first pass, you read and say, well, gee, that's kind of weird, or it seems like it's all leading to the same place, but not really, because it's just like one of those action movies where everybody in the group, like, generally gets to the same place, but how they get to that place and in what condition they get to that place and varies from character to character and from situation to situation. So, you succeed. The thing is to not be afraid of failing, because you succeed on a roll. Okay, you got there brilliantly, and it looks really cool, like Sean Thornton, because Jose should sell dice because his dice roll so well in most games. But you get there with not quite enough of the success as you needed. When you get there battered, and you start to lose those luck points, which is your kind of mojo, or whatever it is you're getting, and maybe you pull the luck point at the end, where it's like, oh, it's you escape from certain death, but that's cool.
And because the luck point is a per scene economy, Right. If you survive this particular scene, you're good. You go back up to 10, right? I got Vicky down to 2 luck points in the cavern, and as soon as we're out of the cavern, that fills back up. So.
Right. Exactly, and so if you don't quite get it, you'll still get what you're looking for, like with an attempt to do something, kind of, but it goes sideways. And so this whole thing where yes, in fact, I think it's like episode 2 or part 2 of of the one shot, where Vicky doesn't quite save Inukshuk by throwing the shield to him for him to land on, but it distracts the other guy so much that he grabs the shield and pushes him, and then Inukshuk doesn't fall into the spikes. So she did save him, but at a terrible cost.
Right. Yeah.
So that, to me, like once you wrap your head around like that's how you should narrate and use these successes or failures, then you're not so scared of failing. If anything, rolling just under is kind of cool. Like I enjoyed like my luck starting to run out and when things went sideways, because you're still going to get to that other place. Everybody's going to get to the place, but like how it's going to happen and what condition, and it'd be boring as all heck if we all just succeeded all the time. It'd be like Kirk, I can't miss. Right. So this game, while at first it looks like you can't miss, that's not the case.
Yeah.
And I rolled quite a couple of straights this session, so you see that even though you have your 5 dice and you're just looking for a basic or something, it's not guaranteed.
Dice being dice.
Yeah.
So Anthony, where does this fall for you compared to other pulp systems you've experienced, specifically like mechanically?
We went into interviewer mode.
Shut up, Jose.
For me to have fun with a pulp game, it needs to have a certain speed. So whatever the resolution is, however it's done, I prefer, me being me, for me, playing a pulp game, I prefer it to be a one-step thing. Like, you roll your dice, and there is a result, and now we know what the outcome is.
Yep.
Or it's opposed, right? And that kind of produces this kind of adversarial sense, right? Because I roll my dice and you roll your dice, and we look at each other and we look at the dice results, and we, with that one step of both of us rolling at the same time, we see what the outcome is. But if there's a long phase of collecting modifiers or modifying results, it's harder for me to retain the momentum that I need to avoid my basic instincts of playing toward horror or playing toward survival, my default mode. So if you occupy my mental power with system, then you're going to get horror. But if you give me a system I can trust to give me something I can relate to the genre, then we're off to the races. Cool. And I can make it through 3 parts of a one-shot without, bringing in heavy moral consequences.
Yeah. Without Amber being a vampire.
Which is what I wanted to say before is that for younger gamers who didn't grow up with these movies, like who've maybe seen some of the classics, like they've seen Indiana Jones, or they've grown up hearing about Raiders of the Lost Ark or something like that, but that's a movie I should watch someday, right? If they follow the instructions for how to apply system, they will have a 90s action movie experience.
That's huge.
And for us, who kind of have internalized that visual and trope-based, language, we know what to expect from a late 80s action movie or a mid 90s action movie. If you follow those instincts, what you would like to see happen in a cool 90s movie or a cool 80s movie, you'll find the system is there for you to do that thing, because the mechanics obviously have come from watching films, so they right. flow in both directions. So you should be able to relate the fiction of your play back into the movies, and you should be able to relate your understanding of the movies into play. And I think that is enormous. If that answers your question.
It does. It does.
And you were going to say something before, Anthony, before I so rudely interrupted you.
Yeah.
That was what I was going to say, was that it can translate both ways. So it was both of your additions to the conversation augmented what I wanted to say and made it much cooler.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Right on. Yeah, but that is the cool thing. It's like because we are of an age. Craig's a little bit younger, not too much though, but because we're of an age, by a couple of years. Even though I'm the elder statesman, because we're of an age, we've seen these movies. We know what these tropes are like, and then so the person gets to the other side. They save the person somehow, or they get to the other side of this dangerous situation somehow. But we roll the dice, and there's probably 3 or 4 different ways it could go because we've seen these movies, and the dice tell you, okay, which way is it going to go? Does he swing to the other side and it's heroic and it's awesome, or does his friend grab him and catch him, or does he slam him into the wall, or is it how does it, or does he get through but he loses the pack containing the item he got came there for in the first place, and then so it's kind of like that, you're not sure which way that's going to go until you roll dice, and then. We've seen the movie, so we know. I probably have more of an instinct at how to narrate it in that way. But it tells you. It comes pretty. To me, it seems pretty intuitive, pretty fast. And that's kind of this neat. You still play to find out. We are certainly, to a certain extent, doing a lot of genre reinforcement. So we are kind of like there is that sort of writer's room thing back and forth. And a little bit, which is I don't always like, but in this it seems kind of natural and right.
I'm finding it replaces the tangents and the banter, because we're playing one of those movies. I feel like the urge to quote from those movies is reduced because now we're
doing
in it,
the quote in play. Yeah.
And so there's
that moment,
wink,
really
nudge,
good
nudge.
point. Yeah, there's that moment, I said, between session 2 and now, he said, you really should have said, or I was waiting for you to say, are you still mad about Acapulco, honey? As the Amber's there, and I remember I told him between games, dude, if that comes up to you, tell me, because I would welcome. Normally, I'm not a big fan of somebody saying, hey, you should do this, or hey, but in this game, to a certain extent, that's perfect. I'm like, yeah, honey. And it is. It's true. It's like we were just kind of creating it right there.
Yeah, and Ivan, I think to a certain degree, there's a mutual understanding at the table right now. Like all of 5 of us understand the genre, understand the look and feel of it, and that allows me to go, for us to be able to pitch to each other in that way.
Yeah, we got the exact tone. I think we got the action with some humor, with some, so it feels great. I don't know.
No, I'm a fan. I'm anxious to get the printed ones. Yeah. I'm too old to
I hear
my PDFs.
I hear Loy has an entire adventure planned for us.
I do actually. I have to dig it up. I don't know which notebook I wrote it on, but I could run it if you guys want. Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I think.
I'm kind of curious who, or not who, you've got your characters, right? You made these characters. I'd like you to think way, way back to the 90s or maybe even the 80s, right? Is there a series of films, like real action movies, that you think your character would fit into well, or replace the main character in a good way?
So I'm seeing Sammy. It's not as part of the A team in my mind. Not quite. It kind of like functionally filling Murdoch's role, but not being the comedic at that level of pretending to be a crazy person. But kind of like where Murdoch fit into that A team, I could see Sammy slipping in after Murdoch got fired for. Yeah. He got fired for hitting on an intern.
I'm just doing Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, but there's also like a James Bond attitude, right? Of if you see something about to happen, just try something; it'll probably work, right? As long as it's plausible. there's a chance that it works. So,
Right.
Where do we see Sean in IMDb?
Well,
I see. Sean reminds me of The Rock, right? Immediately, just hanging from the
Dwayne
side
Johnson.
of the. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, the idea is I purposely did not put any either action hero or soldier in because I wanted to be kind of like an everyman, outdoorsman who can take care of himself in a fight, right? So more adventure than action was my
Nice.
So I don't know if it's perfect for the genre, but probably not Indiana Jones because he's not a professor, but more in that vibe, right? More in that exploration.
What was Kirk Douglas in Romancing the Stone? Nice.
That kind of thing.
Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Sorry.
Yeah,
you remember this movie, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I think in North America it was called The Rundown.
Yes. Yeah.
I just love that you have it on DVD.
That's awesome.
Because it's not available on Blu-ray.
I think I only watched that once.
Oh, even this old man gave up solid media.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, as far as Chase, like I'm not sure like exactly where he would fit in one of those movies, but like he literally was this guy. I mean, clearly he's obviously
Chase to me is your typical Chris O'Donnell character from that era.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cocky. Throws himself in, and Chris O'Donnell made a career playing Chase.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's it's kind of like the thing I was going for is the guy that's like totally into the grunge rock scene. He's like my age back then. So he's like about 31 or so, and trying to be a little hipper than he really is at this point. Like he's still trying to act as though he's 21, and he's not. He's 31. But like has like can back it up to a certain extent. Like
right.
that's
He
why
has the competency.
I went for like stunt. Yeah, I went all out for stunt because I figured this is the genre where you really kind of put that in quite a bit. But just overconfident, cocky. He turned into a ladies' man. We didn't realize this at first until it kind of happened. And, but rock and roll.
Ladies' man.
Yeah.
One ladies' man.
Well, yeah, no, he was dancing with a girl in the bar too, a little bit, but
because she had red hair, she reminded him of Amber.
Yes, exactly. He's a one-trick pony. He's still, thinking, if I'll just, can I just call you Amber?
That's also a '90s action movie thing. The hero can't let go of the one woman that that is so classic. So
exactly, and yeah, I there that. I think it might have been in Red, although I think that's post '90s. The two people that that shot each other, just two spies, and so just that the idea that kind of developed into this thing where they're he can't really shoot her, although there's times it'd be very appropriate.
Yeah, I think adding those improvising the connections to the rivals at that second. And that second session was genius. It was awesome.
Yes, that was really good. Instead of the faceless goons.
Yeah, definitely.
That means Anthony's gonna have to make a character.
You already did.
I did. I made one before we played.
That's right. Okay. Good.
So I may revise him now that I see, who the existing characters are. Find some way to have a personality that fits in with those rather than a character made in a vacuum. But,
and while Vicky's busy translating some dumb stuff, go do something else cool. Whatever it is, whatever she does.
Well, gentlemen, any final things to say about Broken Compass before we sail off into the sunset?
I'm a fan. My biggest concern with this was did it deserve to exist? Right, because this is an action pulp type thing is something we've seen before, right? But I think it does. I think it's got its own place. And I would I would play it set in the 30s, but I think playing it set in the 90s action movie really gives it its own place in my mind.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right, it's good seeing everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take care.
I think we should all run it once. Even Jose. I know he was
Even
a hell of a
Jose.
game master back in the day.
Especially Jose.
Actually,
Yeah,
that's
Jose
a
should
really
run it twice.
I
That's
want to
like
run a game.
30 years ago.
I want to play in a game with Jose running it. Put that on record. I don't.
Yeah, meat grinder version.
Scene 1. You need an impossible success. We all know.
Yeah.
The end.
But what's the context? Just roll the dice, man. What the heck? Context?
Yeah, exactly. No context.
All right, guys, be good.
Take care, guys. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Glad you had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.